So welcome, Joel. Welcome to episode 1 of the Focus Behind the Cloud podcast, the podcast that looks at all the people that make up Focus Cloud and make it such a brilliant place to work. So welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Yeah.
Good stuff. So obviously you've hosted podcasts before, but this is your turn to be a guest.
I'm in the hot seat. Excellent.
Absolutely. So Joel, you joined us nearly 3 years ago now.
Yep.
Now, for everyone that doesn't know Focus Cloud or hasn't known Focus Cloud for 3 years, it's a bit of a different place. How would you say it's changed, and how have you found it over those years?
It's definitely been a journey. I mean, it's changed massively, actually. So if I look back at my first few weeks in Focus Cloud, night and day, we're a lot bigger, we're a lot more streamlined, we're a lot... I wouldn't say we're more ambitious, but one of the great things is that the ambition hasn't gone. Yeah. So when I came in for my interview with Lloyd, one of the things that really struck me was just how ambitious he was and the organisation was. We haven't lost any of that, yeah. which is great. We're bigger, we're bolder, we're faster, and we're stronger. It's we're now in Brighton. We were in an industrial estate.
Manor Royal, yeah, not the prettiest place.
It served a purpose.
It did, yeah. It was a great HQ for 5 years now. But yeah, now we're in sunny Brighton, and the sun's out today, actually. The seagulls are out in force, and summer is truly on its way.
It's going to be brilliant, actually, and the atmosphere in the office is fantastic. We've got a really good vibe. We've got a nice light-filled space. Everyone seems to be doing well, seems to be happy. So, yeah, it's really good feeling at the moment.
Good. So, just going into a little bit more about kind of when you joined Focus Cloud or why you joined Focus Cloud. Obviously, someone like yourself, you came in with a good few years of recruitment experience. You knew Nick Donovan from before, so you guys kind of entered the world of recruitment together, and then kind of circled back round, and now your teammates are managing opposite each other in the different offices. So, what was it about kind of Focus Cloud and the approach? Obviously, you say the ambition. Obviously, you met Lloyd and all that kind of stuff. Is there more to kind of why you joined Focus Cloud?
There was. So, bit of trivia for you, first of all. So I have known Lloyd since I was 9 years old. Right. We used to play football together or against each other, depending on how you look at it. And so I was kind of familiar with Lloyd and how competitive he was. Yeah. And then coming in and meeting him and seeing the opportunity, it really, nothing had changed. Sure. He was still super competitive. I think I joined really so I could get better. I got the feeling sitting opposite Lloyd that he was going to push me, and I was going to learn new stuff. I was going to be able to maybe elevate my game, and that's what was really motivating me. I felt a bit stale at the time, like I was just kind of doing a rinse and repeat. Sure. And I needed something to energize me, a new challenge, something where I could be part of a growing organisation. So Lloyd sold the opportunity really well and said that, if I come in and do my stuff and get my head down, he was confident that the business would grow and there would be opportunities for me. So I bought that, and here I am.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and, going into that, when you joined, how big were we then? About 20, 25?
Yeah. And the Gatwick office was pretty cosy, pretty small. There wasn't many of us. So it was all really about the bigger picture. It was about, this is where we are today, but look, we've got a huge plan, and we want to be big, and we want to really be global, and we want to do all this stuff. So, fancy coming on that journey with us. And I was like, hell yeah.
Good stuff. And I think, the success is there to be seen, growing from 25 to we're like 55 now. Once the academy and the trainees settle in, I think we'll be about 55, if not a couple more. The growth is there, the ambition's there. We can see everything ticking over, everything's working. So obviously your team's grown. You've got a great mix of, I suppose, senior recruitment consultants, those with a bit of experience, and then you've got a few graduates coming on board. Yep. How do you see that playing out in the Workday market in the next 12 months?
Great question. So I think we've got a great blend, actually. We've got some, we call them golden oldies, right? So you got myself, Simon.
Simon's a golden oldie.
He's definitely a golden oldie. And then Mike Mortlock. We're all a very, very similar age. Yeah. Shockingly similar. And then add Nick and Lloyd. all of us are so similar in age, not always so similar in outlook, but that's good, that diversity of thought.
Absolutely.
And then we've got some newer people. So we've got some people with sort of 2 or 3 years recruitment experience, who have got it. They've joined. They've been able to kind of embrace our culture and our level of focus and our level of diligence, which was quite different for them. And there's a bit of a learning curve when you come to Focus Cloud, because we are so we have such a vibrant environment, and our standards are so high. And we've got a new academy, and that's going so well. So we've got people who have got no recruitment experience or had no recruitment experience coming in, learning our system, getting to know how we do things, and really kind of elevating their career quickly. So all of that is feeding into a team that's got a lovely blend of experience, and fresh ideas, and people who are at different stages.
Got good few characters in there as well.
Yeah. And that's what we love. I mean, one of the things we try to create is like a diverse team. So, and we specifically, when we're recruiting, we'll look at where's the gap. So we won't say, we need someone who's really funny or whatever, but what we'll say is,
that's what we did when we hired Matteo.
We did.
We need some passion, some Italian passion, and we went and got him. Yeah. So Matteo will be on episode 2, by the way.
Yeah, but we do look for characters, and we look for people who've got a story, and we look for people who we think are going to be likable and are going to relate well to our market. And but sometimes you need different types of things. So at the moment, we're maybe looking for people who can run accounts, or people who can who are quite methodical in a way, whereas in the past we've looked at people who are like firecrackers or out there. So you know what it's like. Recruitment takes all sorts. There's no one size fits all. But with the team dynamics, that's something we're really focused quite hard on, actually. So as we grow, we will continue to bring in different type of people who can kind of add to the room. That's the key thing.
Absolutely. So saying that, we've got obviously the team now down in Brighton. We say, I say I think all the time, but being in Brighton's such a godsend, especially in this office that we're currently in, with the views and all that kind of stuff. And the talent attraction since we've been in Brighton it's been really good. I think we've been able to see some really great people come through the door.
Agree.
Yeah. So going on to that, then we've got the kind of the growth and the characters you're looking for. See, there's growth in your teams to be had. What are you looking for now? Or anyone listening to this podcast, if they're thinking, I want to get into recruitment, what should I do? I don't know what I should be, looking for. Am I the right fit? Who are they? What do you want them to look like?
Very simple. Attitude. We can teach people how to be a great recruiter, right? But we can't teach them their attitude, So to give a bit more detail on that, because it's not as simple as you just need to want to do well, right? You have to be super resilient. So, the ability to just keep getting up again, very, very important in recruitment. It's a busy role. You're juggling tons and tons of balls, and there's an internal pressure that comes with that, and you need to be able to handle that. You need to be able to manage your own energy and manage your own levels of stress and levels of busyness, so that you're maintaining your accuracy. I think that's key. And then in terms of attitude, just open-mindedness and I say being a people person. So the number one thing is really how to build relationships. And the more you're into people, and the more you kind of have that empathy and want to know about people and want to help, the better, really. It just really goes hand in hand with the role of a recruiter, because you're talking to people all day, you're building relationships, you might be out to lunch, you might be on video interviews with them, all that sort of stuff. And the more you can kind of relate to someone else, the easier the job is, I'd say. I'd also say that where people struggle is pace and expectation in Focus Cloud. So I think we're a bit different. I think that we have sky-high standards, and that means that we move really, really quickly. without losing the accuracy. You know, so it's not just like chucking loads of mud at the wall. It's really about being able to work at pace and being right on point. And that does challenge people. And then the other thing that challenges people is we're a very forward-thinking, forward-looking business. So very dynamic. So I'll give you an example. Right, you can have your best month ever, and we will absolutely celebrate that. Well, you'll get a pat on the back, you'll get all the rewards, you'll get all the returns that go with that, like commission, etc. And then the next question is, what's next? So what's next? So what's next? So what's next? And that's what we're all about. You know, break a record, what's next? Break a record, let's go to the next level. Yeah. Some people find that difficult. You know, some people find that thankless. But it's not about kind of, it's coming from a position of just wanting to get better and wanting to do better and wanting to keep moving forward and wanting to improve. So if you're that type of person and that environment sounds like it could be for you, then hit us up.
Sure. Oh, awesome. And obviously, you know, a lot of people think, you know, recruitment's not necessarily a career, right? So not, you know, we're having the conversations at the moment internally about grads, and they don't know recruitment as a career. It's just something you fall into, kind of thing. Firstly, did you fall into recruitment?
I did, yes.
I think a few of the guys here did, but I you know, I think we want to be proactive in bringing people into the recruitment industry, right? We want to take the grads, bring them in, put them through the academy, show them how good it can be, give them kind of lessons for life. You know, a lot of this stuff, you know, the way you talk to people on the phone, how you qualify people, it's that natural curiosity, and I think it brings a lot of that out of people. I mean, I work in marketing across the desks, but I can tell you that I could probably quiz someone on the phone just because I've just kind of listened to, you know, those kind of things. But, you know, I think when we go to, you know, I think we're going to be going to like grad fairs and all that kind of stuff around the universities. You know, recruitment is a career.
It is.
What I guess what my question is, why do you think people don't think it's a career? Why do you think people just fall into it?
Okay, that's a good question. So actually, I say I fell into recruitment, but I don't think I did. So this is the story of how I got into recruitment. Okay. And it tells you a bit about me as well. So I was quite academic, and I enjoyed school. I had a great laugh at school, and I just enjoyed learning, and I did quite well. But I didn't get the grades to go to a red brick university. So I really wanted to go to Oxford or Cambridge or LSE. And I didn't get the grades to go. I think I got A, B, C in my A levels. So I was one grade off. And that day I recall because I didn't want to go through clearing. A bit all or nothing, as you know. And I was a bit like, if I can't go to any of those universities, I don't want to go to university. Sure. My dad, who's had a huge influence on me, and I've posted about it regularly, said to me, okay, so you're relatively driven. So as a football, you know, I played football. Yeah. And you're relatively outgoing, although you need to work on that. This is literally what he said, and he was right. I was a little bit unpolished then, shall we say. You should go into recruitment. That's exactly what he said.
Did your dad have prior knowledge of recruitment?
A little bit, yeah. And so I literally went to an agency, and I had an interview, and I was 19, and they said, oh, we've got a client that you'd be perfect for. They're called Monroe Systems, based in Reigate. Yeah. We're going to send you for an interview tomorrow. And they did everything that we do. They prepped me on the interview, and I turned up at this interview, and I got the job. Nice. And that's how I got into recruitment 24 years ago.
Just one, was it just a one shot one day? Didn't you know?
I had 2 interviews, but at the end of the first interview, a guy called Phil Bradshaw, lovely guy, he said to me, I think we're going to hire you. You are going to have to do another interview. So say all the same things you've said to me at the next interview, and you'll be fine. Awesome. And I did, and I got it.
The rest is history, as they say. And then, you know, 20 odd years have come by.
Yeah.
You land up at Focus Cloud.
So the second piece of your question was around why people don't think it's a career. Okay. And this is going back to some of the things I've said earlier around, like, how do you keep going? So there is a lot of fallout in the recruitment industry through recessions and through tough times and because there are some organisations out there that, how can I put it, have some, I wouldn't say questionable tactics, but they're just not necessarily in it for the long term. So recruitment is absolutely a career. It's very, very rewarding. It's quite lucrative if you're really, really good at it, but you have to be all in. You can't be a sort of, I'm doing a recruitment for like 3 years and I'm going to travel around the world. I think you've got to commit to it, although you don't necessarily know that you'll love it. So, you know, some people just naturally don't enjoy it, and I think that's fine. But if you really commit to it, there are lots of great things you can do. The other thing is, like, think about careers, any career, right? There's only so much change that you can have within a job, right? So you think about like programming or even Workday or whatever, you know, you can be doing a similar role for 10, 15 years. Where the variety is that you get to move maybe country or company. So you have to kind of create your own variety within the constraints of what recruitment is. And that could be becoming a leader, going into management, setting up on your own, which is what I did for 10 years. It could be broadening your role, broadening your remit in terms of regions. So I think how you make it into career is how kind of you get out of it what you put in. So if you're really committed to it, you can make it interesting, even, dare I say it, when it might not be.
Sure, absolutely. I think, you know, a lot of it, for me, I think from where I sit, obviously in the marketing team, is I just enjoy seeing kind of people build relationships with other people and just kind of see those things come to fruition, whether it's from like the first call and you can tell that it's a bit frosty, to then, you know, seeing them, you take them out for dinner or whatever, and you celebrate those successes and the wins. And I think it's a great little place. It's a great place, you know, recruitment is, and the wins are there to be celebrated. You know, at the end of the day, you're changing people's lives. I think that's probably not said enough, and it's probably maybe overstated a little bit or understated a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So let me give you a bit of context, a few examples. So there is no better feeling than having a conversation with someone, whether it be a client or a candidate, and sort of setting a plan. So saying, you know, this is what we're going to do. So in 6, 9, 12 months' time, this is where I think your career will be if you take this opportunity. Or having a bit of a vision, if it's a customer, for what you can do for them, how you can build their team or how you can build their practice, and then actually doing it and it coming to fruition, and then together with that individual or with that team or with that company, being able to look back and celebrate that collaboration. There is no better feeling than that. And it's such a, you know, it just pays back in droves. It's got nothing to do with financial gain and everything to do with doing a great job. You know, that deep sense of fulfillment when you know you've nailed it, and you know you've nailed it, and not only are you winning, but they're winning as well, and they're happy, and you've kind of fixed their problem. So it's such a great industry for that. It is changing people's lives. It's, you know, you're changing something, whether it be someone going to the next level in their career, or an organisation able to grow or serve their customers because of the great people that you're connecting them with. And I think that's not really talked about enough. No. Yeah, so I'll give you an example of how it kind of works in the reverse. So there's been situations where we've found people roles and they've actually taken pay cuts, but they've been really happy because the main issue was they weren't fulfilled. And, you know, money is only going to fulfill you to a certain level. And, you know, things like work-life balance, the job itself, the content, you know, the relationships, the organisation you work for, all of those things play a massive part. So, you know, some of the best things we've done are where we're not getting people more money. But we're improving their life. That, you know, from a more kind of whole perspective. So yeah, it's a really powerful thing. Do you know what? I often don't really stop and think about it in such detail, but it is a great industry, and you know, I think it's a real force for good if done correctly.
So I think, you know, on one side of it, you've got people that don't know that they want to get into recruitment or don't know if they'll be good at it and all that kind of stuff. But also the service user side of things, candidates and clients. You get candidates or clients that do have that kind of bad feeling towards recruitment companies just because of things in the industry, or you get stereotyped and things like that. So the benefits, if you're a candidate or a client, why would you? If someone says you should use a recruitment consultant, and they go, oh no, what would you say to kind of persuade them? No, it is the right thing to do. What are the benefits of using someone like Focus Cloud or the team?
So I think the issue is often their experience in the past. I think what happens is candidates, sometimes clients, get treated in quite a transactional manner, and that causes two problems. Sometimes a bit of disdain towards recruitment, and the other problem is sometimes they get used to dealing with a recruiter or recruitment business in that way, and we're different. So we demand a level of transparency from our candidates and our clients that is a lot higher than the norm, for example. And we want a relationship. So there can be a little bit of tension around, look, we know that you're probably used to it going like this. This is how we do it. And this is why. And again, it's all about relationship, and it's all about, that level of collaboration. So why you would use a recruiter is because if they know their stuff, they will have opportunities that are not out there, that you can't just go onto LinkedIn and get, and they will have a level of detail and a level of information about their customers, which is also not out there, because that's the skill, to discover that on a one-on-one basis and interpret it. So your interpretation of your customer is going to be unique to you as a recruiter. And then on the other side, what a client would use us is play that round the other way. So, qualifying candidates, really getting to know them, often becoming their friend, and really understanding where is the best place to put them, and where is the most value that they can add, and then connecting that to the client and doing it quickly so that the client doesn't have to spend loads and loads of time hiring. The time-saving aspect of what we do is huge. We actually try and make it as seamless as possible, even down to just put this time aside to do interviews and we'll do the rest, kind of thing. No CV sifting, no worry about is it going to be right, is it not going to be right. Just trust us and we will deliver. And because we hold ourselves to that standard, and if there's a problem or a challenge, we're going to fix it. So I think for us, it's there is kind of no get out. Do you know what I mean? We set such a high standard that we just say we're going to fix it, and we don't stop until we fix it.
Absolutely. No, we've got quite a good track record, I think, for just fixing problems. Not even recruitment problems. Sometimes, candidates or clients might come to us with something completely random. And we're like, okay, we'll fix that as well.
Yeah, completely. And we love that as well. It's part of the, it's the value add bit, isn't it?
No, awesome. Cool. So that kind of leads nicely onto kind of Workday and the Workday market. Now, you've been doing the Workday market since you joined Focus Cloud. Things have changed since then. We've gone through, a pandemic. Hopefully, I think, fingers crossed, we are seeing the back of that now. But yeah, what have you seen over the last 3 years? How's it evolved, and what do you think the future looks like?
Very, very vibrant market, and the Workday ecosystem is buzzing right now. So it was. We were so lucky, really, to be part of it, because through the pandemic, although it did take a hit, it's remained pretty robust. A couple of pointers were around just the product and how good it is and how useful it is, regardless of market conditions, and then also the kind of ability to do the role remotely. So, a blend of those two things have meant that when the bounce back came, it came really, really strong, and now we're just in this zone where the market is thriving. There's more SKUs that Workday are adding. They're adding more value to their customers. Therefore, there's more demand. Therefore, the skills shortage is going up a bit, and we're doing some things to fix that. And I think there is some quite good initiatives out there about, you know, bringing new talent into the market and training and development and all that good stuff. Yeah. I think it's, you know, there is an issue or a challenge around just how vibrant the market is, and that is people. Yeah. So the job is getting a bit harder, okay, I would say, in terms of finding needles in haystacks, kind of finding the unfindables. Because there is so much demand, it means that it's testing us a bit more. We've got to dig deeper,
get creative,
and really show our skills off, yeah, in order to fix some of these skills gaps, yeah, and close them up. And so we're working really, really hard at that. But the market is great across all aspects of Workday, so finance, planning, and HR. There's new products coming out, there's new tools. So it's globally, it's such an exciting place to be. No. Really is.
Good stuff. No. Yeah. Long may it continue, I think. Yeah, quick question. How long do you think the bounce back will last? What a question. That's a big one, isn't it? That is big. You know, I think we've seen some great success, and obviously our teams have benefited from it. We've benefited lots of candidates, lots of clients from the way the market's moved. How long can it be sustained?
Crystal ball time. So look, here's what I think. I think that the market's quite robust, and I think that the technology is here to stay. There will be a cool down. There has to be, and when, not entirely sure. I think it will be within the next 2 or 3 years. I think it will be a cool down rather than like a.
It won't be a drop off.
No, not a major drop off. And I think bizarrely, in some ways, that may benefit some people, not others, not so much. I think the idea with us is to build a kind of robust business where we can service the market in any conditions, and adapt as well to what's happening out there. But I think it's here to stay, and you know, the level of development in the Workday ecosystem in terms of new SKUs, in terms of, you know, new customers who are taking the product, and just in terms of how sticky Workday is, yeah, with their clientele, and how sticky we are with our clientele as well, because that's really, really, yeah, improving. It's giving me a really warm feeling that we're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, long may it continue, and hopefully we see that continue for a little while longer. So, you know, we've spoken a little bit about candidates and clients and things like that. Obviously, you spend a lot more of your time, I think, dealing with the client side of things, and you know, you leave the team to find those great candidates. If there's one thing you were going to say to your clients, or one lesson you'd give them, yeah, now, what would it be?
When hiring, I think it's very simple. I think it's about speed. So you just want to remove all blockers, yeah, to getting the best people, and that is move quickly, make decisions, make the experience good. So there's some great stats around what really makes the difference for a candidate. So the first interview, yeah, is, you know, the first 10 minutes of the first interview is pivotal for whether a candidate joins an organisation. Okay. Their experience and the relationship that they get with the person that's interviewing them, and the first 10 minutes with the recruiter as well. So basically what that says is that we've got to do our job. You know, we've got to make sure that we are giving people confidence and working with them collaboratively, so that they feel confident that when we put them forward, the next stage is going to happen as we say they're going to happen. Yeah. And then the client also has to do their bit in doing a really good job of representing themselves, the role, the opportunity, because they're the two key pivotal things. But it's speed. Make sure that all the conditions are aligned to the market. You know, don't try and hire a unicorn if you're going to be offering beneath market rate. You know, make sure that the content of the role is interesting and aligned to the person's skill set, of course, and but make it snappy. You know, do it quickly. There's no need to spend loads and loads of time on it. We do a lot of the sifting for the clients anyway, and but that experience at interview is absolutely key.
Yeah. Would you say that that's one of the biggest mistakes that people or clients are making at the moment?
I think you've got to see it from both sides, and it isn't just about the candidate is going in and selling themselves to the client. It's the client selling themselves to the candidate as well. Right. And how everything is positioned is absolutely key.
Great. So there you go. There's Joel's one tip for today's podcast. I'm sure there'll be more as we go.
So just going back to the conversation around the team.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm using very, very recent examples. Yeah. I think one of the most exciting things for me about our team and the blend and the different characters is actually about creativity. Sure. So it's about having the space, the time, and the foresight to come up with new ideas. And at the moment, aligned to some of the leadership development that we're doing, and aligned to our academy and having external trainers come in and support our business, and also empowering people to try new things, we're coming up with some really interesting ideas. We're crunching data, and we're looking at everything so that we can get better. So we're looking at this sort of really small incremental gains thing, this marginal gains focus, where it's like if we tweak that and we tighten that and we lose that, we're going to go faster, we're going to get better, it's going to be a better service for the clients, it's going to be a better service for the candidates, and we're going to do better ourselves. And that is really, really interesting, and I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm excited. I think in the past it's been very much about the leadership, and the leadership kind of having all the ideas and being a step ahead. And now I think we've sort of built this environment where everybody gets to play, everybody gets to implement their idea, everybody gets to change the game a little bit, everybody gets to kind of tweak what we do so that as a collective we improve. And if we get this right, I think we're going to be a force to be reckoned with going forward.
Put ourselves in a good position for sure. No, good. Yeah, we've seen some great stuff come from the teams. Obviously, we did our like company feedback stuff and engagement surveys and things like that. I think where we've grown so quickly and so fast at times, and made some quick decisions, some snappy decisions, and just gone with it almost like bat out of hell really at times. Sometimes we've kind of had to I think we've done it in the last 12 months where we've slowed down a little bit, but not in a bad way, but just to take stock of, okay, look, we've achieved so much. Let's just take a second to kind of step back, look at the people inside the business now, because it's less about kind of individuals and monster billings and your star people. It's more about that team ethic, that teamwork, and knowing that with the right people in place in the right areas of the business, we'll go so much further than just having a few key individuals and people sweeping up behind them maybe. Absolutely. No, it's great. It's good stuff. And, lots to... I mean, we could probably sit here and talk about kind of Workday and the team and all the culture and all that kind of stuff for hours. But so to wrap it up, wrap the first episode up. So I've got 5 quick questions that I'm going to be asking every guest. Okay. Yep. They're completely off topic. Cool. So, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
You're gonna offend the resident Italians in Robin and Matteo with that one.
I think that pizza's been tweaked for a different part of the world, so I think it's pretty well aligned to me. So I've ordered that before, so I'm going to say a resounding yes.
So, Coke or Pepsi?
or neither.
No, not a sugary drink kind of guy.
No.
Water, coffee.
Lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee. Excellent. Burger King or McDonald's?
Oh,
That says a lot about a man,
I
that.
think I'm gonna say neither.
You're not a fast food guy.
I'm not a fan of either.
Good stuff. Good. And then this one is a little bit more topical, and I think a little bit we can probably extract a little bit. So 2 things you couldn't live without: 1 tech, 1 not.
Well, obviously my phone. Sadly, feel bad saying that, but it's true. Couldn't live without my phone. I actually use it as a phone and and for emails. I don't use it for much more. But I couldn't live without it. And then 1 non-tech thing I couldn't live without. Ooh, that's a good one. I think my routine or my sleep.
Right.
So I recut my routine, as you might know, during the pandemic. Just so I basically get up earlier, go to bed earlier. Sleep's key, but also that sort of first hour of the day is the most important thing for me. You know, doing my training and getting in the right mind space and having time to just start again, start afresh. It's where I get all my resilience from, and it makes me feel good at the.
Take time to, I suppose, reflect on the day you had, maybe the day before, or how the week's been, and just kind of think, well, that day's done. I can't change that now, but I can affect everything moving forward.
Yeah, I think, working out in the morning for me, because I didn't used to do that up until 2 years ago, I just feel so good afterwards that it makes me, like it gives me a fresh start.
Yeah.
So even if the day before's been horrendous, which sometimes it is, not very often, but sometimes, after that workout, it's just gone. And, like today is a really good example. I had a little bit of an interesting conversation booked for first conversation of the day, right? Internal conversation, mainly a bit of coaching and support, right? But there's some quite challenging concepts which were going to take place, right? If I'd had that conversation at the end of yesterday, after everything that happened, I don't think I would have been able to handle it in the same way. So just how calm I am in the morning and just how clear my mind was and that I was open-minded and that I wasn't going to really be, I was just going to approach it with however the card.
That's it. I think it's so key, isn't it? Sometimes you have a bad day, you can completely irrationally do something or have those conversations and say things you wouldn't have said the day after. So taking that time to reflect and
100%. I mean, I was a bit amped up last night. I won't lie. It was a tough day. Very, very busy. Lots to do. It's Easter break coming. Want to get a few things out the door. This morning, serenity. So it was, and actually it went really well. And for both of us, I think that conversation could have gone a different way, and it went very, very well. So morning routine.
Awesome. So last one then. So what do you do when you're not at Focus Cloud? When you're not recruiting, no work whatsoever, you're not even working from home, you're not working from the beach or wherever, you're not touching your laptop all day.
I'm going to say I work a lot. So, great question. Family man, so I'm with my wife and kids. We do all sorts of stuff. So now I've swapped being on the football field for being on the touchline. Right. So all my kids play football, all 3 of them. My daughter plays.
Coach Kirkland yet? Or?
Do you know what? It's been floated by me recently, and I'm gonna decline it because I think it would be a bit unfair to. I don't think they're ready
unfair
for
to
me.
The boys, yeah.
I'm quite focused.
You got some high standards. How old are they?
High standard as well. Boys are 8 and Ruby is 9, so they're not quite.
So under 9s, under 10s, and not ready for your level.
I used to run an under 8s team, and we started off not so good, and we finished the league pretty good. I mean, we did some good stuff, but I don't know. I just think that I'm better off standing back and just enjoying seeing them out there, enjoying kicking the ball around, and then. So what else do I do in my spare time? I chill, and play golf.
Yeah, I've seen a few bits on LinkedIn golf with the family.
Golf's cool. Golf is one of the times where I can literally switch off. So because I love sport and I love golf, all I think about when I play golf is just hitting the golf ball and getting that little ball into the hole in as few shots. and it's quite it's a weird thing.
Such a simple concept.
It's such a simple concept, but then I like all the detail around golf, like all the statistics, the wind direction, all of that plays. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm one of those type of golfers. I think my golfing brain is a lot better than my actual standard.
Okay.
So I think about the game from a position of being better than I actually am.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating, I will admit.
No, I know how that feels. It's I think I played golf a few times a few years ago, and I put the clubs down quite quickly. So yeah, awesome, excellent. So right, that's it. That's episode 1 of Focus Behind the Clouds. Thank you very much for joining me, Joel. It's been a great insight into several different things there. Obviously, a bit of work there and a bit of the internal culture and the team and how things are going. But yeah, no, obviously this is probably chat number 1 of many, and over the course of the next few months, I'll get you back in and we can go for updates and we can see how things have progressed. But no, thank you very much.
Oh, listen, thank you for having me, and looking forward to kind of shooting the breeze again.
Excellent. No, it's great. And just lastly, for anyone kind of listening, any audience members out there, if you are looking to get into recruitment, then ping any one of the recruitment team a message on LinkedIn, or find Shamila Mortlock. She's the direct line in. But yeah, feel free to send any questions over. Head to the careers page. There's some great entertaining videos on there of me, myself, Joel, my alter ego as a quiz master, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, all on there for you to go and have a look at. Answer some really simple questions, some FAQs, with Nick and Joel. And yeah, have a look. Right.